Buenos días a todos.
Good morning. Thank you very much. This is the first time I've been in Colombia, and for me it's a pleasure to enjoy the hospitality of this land. I'm sure it won't be the last time I'm here. Today I'm going to tell you about a story, a personal journey, my own story. In 21, I received a Fulbright scholarship and I went to MIT. That same year, President Clinton launched the National Nanotechnology Initiative. At that time, nanotechnology was taking its first steps. Effectively, it was a science, and I wanted to go to the place that was on the cutting edge of that science. I wanted to go to Boston. Today, the story is very difficult. Today, nanotechnology is revolutionizing new industries and generating new areas that we didn't know before. And if there's one sector where nanotechnology has a very significant role, it's in the field of energy. There is practically no area that is related to nanotechnology that isn't being revolutionized by new nanomaterials. Solar energy, wind energy, nuclear energy, oil and coal refining. All of these areas are being improved thanks to new materials that allow us, for example, to have lighter automobiles that consume less gasoline, or better engines, or better electrodes for our batteries, or other things that allow us to release energy more quickly. But if there's something that has revolutionized the field of energy in the United States and also in some other countries, it's been the discovery of new sources of hydrocarbons, natural gas and oil. In this image, you can see how shale gas, which up to a few years ago didn't provide much contributions to our source of hydrocarbons, is today a very significant contribution. And today the price of the cost of natural gas in the United States is a quarter of what it costs in Spain, and so this is bringing a series of new ecological and technological challenges. This is the traditional image of a refining plant, a refinery. A refinery is one of the great contributions of chemical engineering to the 20th century, and although it has brought with it environmental issues, it is a great example of human creativity and of how hydrocarbons can be efficiently converted into energy. But refining is a 20th century invention. And with the idea of introducing nanotechnology to a conservative sector, as oil refining is, in 2007, I founded Rive Technology, a company that was born out of research at MIT that has the goal of incorporating nanotechnological advances into the catalyzers that allow transforming crude oil into more desired products like gasoline and diesel. There's a lot more that can be done with refining. I'm convinced that the use of better materials in catalyzers will allow us to make a better use of natural materials, and will also allow us to minimize the environmental damage created by this technology. This video, these have these structures and channels. You can see that there are some forums. I'm going to cover them with surface so you can see them better, that are repeated throughout the crystal structure, and these pores provide access to different molecules. Right now we're looking at hydrocarbon molecules that can be found in crude oil. These hydrocarbons travel through the inside of the catalyzer, and they find active locations where they break up to give lighter fractions and constitute diesel and gasoline. The problem is that a large part of the crude is formed by very large molecules. These molecules will not fit into the porosities of the pores of the catalyzers we have today, and so they generate residue. What we've done in Rive technology is we add larger pores within the structure of these catalyzers so that even the larger hydrocarbons, the ones with greater larger branches, the heavier ones, can travel inside the catalyzers without any problems. They can find the active locations, they can break up and produce gasoline and diesel that we're looking for. And our catalyzers allow us to improve the efficiency of the required products and also reduce the residue given off by oil refineries and bringing greater profits to the companies and to help with environmental issues. And this is the goal of Rive Technology, the company I founded while at MIT. Our catalyzers, our nanoporous catalyzers, can not only be used for oil cracking, they could also be used in many other applications inside refining, like hydrocracking, isomerization, improved octane levels in hydrocarbons, but outside the oil companies can be used. They can be used for biofuels and for air and water purification. This company has been made possible thanks to nanotechnological advances. What we do at Rive Technology is we market for the first time for refinery catalyzers that incorporate nanotechnologies. And here you can see some images, some simulations, and some electronic microscope images, and you can see how our materials incorporate this additional porosity, which is important for allowing the access of larger hydrocarbons and heavier hydrocarbons. This is a real image of one of our delights. This is real data. We're traveling inside a real catalyzer used in refineries, which incorporates this mesoporosity that increases greatly the diffusion of hydrocarbons inside it and increases the efficiency for achieving the final product we require. I founded Rive Technology in 2007. It's now a commercial company. A number of refineries are using our technology. Here, I'd like to show you some very simplified data regarding our second assays in a refinery in the United States. And you can see how, as the months went on, and we included more and more of our nanostructured catalysts, the benefits that the refinery manager was receiving increased. And so this is part of what we wanted to create, a catalyst that is more efficient, that improves the conversion of the hydrocarbons, gives more benefits to the manager of the refinery, more benefits to ourselves, and more benefits for the environment, because there is less pollution, because crude oil is converted more efficiently into gasoline and diesel. In my free time, I participate in the World Economic Forum. I have the honor of belonging to the Council on Emerging Technologies, and I thought it was very relevant for EmTech in emerging technologies to comment some of the ideas that we're promoting within the Emerging Technology Council of the World Economic Forum. Every year, we publish a list of the 10 technologies that, in our opinion, are changing the landscape of innovation and creating new technologies and new innovations throughout the globe. And this is we'll be publishing our new report in a month, and something that's very important that I want to show you is the area of nanotech, and I'm going to use some of the images that were used by the Emergent Technology Report. And so we don't just want to talk about lab products. What we do in the academic lab of university is we push the frontiers of science, but we don't. Neither do we talk about technologies that are in conventional industries, but we talk about technologies that have the capacity to revolutionize existing industries in a disruptive manner, or to create completely new industries. And in a country like mine, like Spain, where we have youth unemployment that's greater than 50%, emerging technologies are also the key to create jobs, because technology has a dual role. Technology has destroyed millions of job positions around the world, but it has also created new industries that are now hiring new workers, and that's the challenge. And nanotechnology in this case, in this concrete case, I think is very relevant, because if you look at this chart, during the last century, it was a new science. It was pushing the frontiers of knowledge. But as soon as this century began, we're seeing that the number of companies that are created based on nanotechnology and the job positions that are created are at this inflection point that we're experiencing right now. And this is what makes nanotechnology an emerging technology. It's not currently in this long induction period, and it's not at a consolidated period like the large companies are, but it's doing so in new materials. It's doing so in electronics, in pharmaceuticals, and in chemicals. All of these are fundamental sectors for the competitivity of nations. This final image I want to show you, you can see that in three key sectors: manufacturing, healthcare, and electronics. A lot of the technologies that we're enjoying today have been developed in recent years, 2004, 2009, 2012, and now benefit us with a lot of products that incorporate nanotechnology. By 2020, 15% of manufactured products will include some kind of nanomaterial. But let me return to my voyage. I told you I was going to tell you a personal story, the story of journey. This is MIT, where I went in 21. To be honest, I never thought that I would start up a company when I got there, but I landed within an ecosystem that didn't just allow me to have contact with the best scientists in my area, with those people who were moving forward in the field of nanotechnology, but also a university that supports its students to create new companies. The whole area of Boston, with lawyers, investors, venture capital, and some of the best universities. And here I understood that the key is to be with the best. And Boston has this ecosystem because it's a magnet. It's a magnet. Talented people want to go to Boston because that's where opportunities arise. And this is a challenge for Medellin, a challenge for Colombia, it's a challenge for any country. Some lessons I've learned during this journey along my personal path. First of all, you have to invest in research and science. There's no other way. I know all countries have problems for investing, the administrations and private companies, but there's no shortcut in this sense. If you look at the data, for example, the World Economic Forum data, if you look at the countries that that invest the most in R&D and that are the most developed, there's almost a direct correlation between investment in R&D and their GDP. And this goes hand in hand with investment in education and scientific research, but it's not enough. I know that in Colombia there's more and more people who have master's degrees, who have doctorates, who have PhDs, but the important thing is that the country also needs to provide jobs for them. Spain is suffering the tragedy that our students, many of them who are PhD students, 40% of our young people work below their degree. We have a lot of PhDs who work as waiters because they don't have jobs. So the importance isn't just education, but the importance is that the country also provides opportunities to these students. And I also want to make a call for giving opportunities for women. I go to a lot of events like this, and there's always a lot of men in them. We need more women talking about innovation and talking about technology.
Another one of the things that are very important is prioritize the areas of investigation. Why? Because the resources are very limited. I understand people who are in the management of a country or the leaders of companies have very limited budgets. We cannot invest in everything. The country has to go towards internal debate and decide what it wants to be known for. What does Colombia want to be known for, or Spain, or the United States? And focus all the investment in those areas, because if you want to shoot very broadly, it would be very difficult to hit the target. You have to see where you want to go and put the greatest amount of resources. Coffee, like for everyone, like we say in Spain, that could not be the solution. It's important to create ecosystems when the country is still being developed, and if it doesn't have R&D centers that are important. Part of this investment is to create ecosystems in regions where the talent exists, because the critical mass is fundamental, and learn from the best, realizing that one of the fastest ways to grow is to send our students abroad, have them learn like I did when I went to MIT, and for them to be able to come back to their country. Colombia, just like Spain, has a lot of great scientists who are outside of their boundaries. Let's take advantage of them. The ministries of foreign affairs should get closer to the best that we have out there. We cannot give them the opportunities in our countries, so ask them to be our ambassadors, not just for mobility, but also for exchange programs with the universities they're working with. In my experience, I have never seen a Spanish person, in my case, who's outside of Spain, and when he's called from Spain, says no. And of course, cooperating with the best, so that we can work with the best universities in the world. And the last thing I want to say is the most important lessons that we learned, what we cannot forget. First, competing by cost is not an option. It's not an option for my country or for Europe, where they insist the best to get competitivity is to reduce the salaries, late people of or reduce education. This is not an option, because we will never be able to compete against China, Vietnam, Cambodia. By competing, by reducing the cost, this will never be the solution. We compete in technology. This is where the battle lies. We can only compete with technology if the country has talent, people, skilled people, and patents that they can defend. Once again, prioritize the strategic areas. What are they for Colombia? What are the areas that Colombia wants to be known for globally? It's necessary to get back the manufacturing, which is part of the discussion that we will have later. Part of recovering the manufacturing means we cannot compete just by reducing costs, so that we can go from the dislocation stage to the relocation and getting back the manufacturing that we have lost over the years. We have to be able to manufacture better here, because we will never do it in a cheaper way. And finally, supporting the individual initiative. It's important for the country to recognize the best, the ones who take risks, to support them and to set them as examples of success. I am a country like just as yours. Soccer is very important. Once per week, at least, I have a picture of a soccer player in the cover of the main newspapers in my country, and there's always time for soccer in the news channels. Hopefully we would have more innovators and we would have the best in our countries, in our covers and in our news channels. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we have a debate time. We're going to have a brief discussion between us, and very quickly I'm going to let you ask any questions that you have, and we will open an open debate. So, Santiago, I have spent 4 days in Colombia. On Monday, I gave a presentation at the National University in Bogota. We're trying to create an agreement between my university and the National University in Colombia. Yesterday, I gave a presentation at the university, the Bolivariana University, with which we already have an agreement. But I would like for you to tell me, from your personal experience, what do you think about the situation of the young researchers in your country, a person who has studied abroad and now you have came back to Colombia's reality? What are the big challenges for this country, and what is your advice, since you are more familiar with that, for the future of Colombia, so that EmTech can have an impact, a long-term impact in the country? And you should answer briefly. We have had a challenge, a group of people who have had the possibility to train ourselves at a postgraduate level, both in Colombia and abroad, and it's opening a path. That path has cost us a lot. Many researchers have even said it has cost us blood on expatriation. But finally, that path, some people have to open those paths and some other people have to continue working on that. But once you open that path, we will not get to the comfortable area, which means since someone already opened this path, I don't have to do it. That's our main challenge. The efforts that we are making, and I'm talking about a group of people who are not over 45 years old, is struggling for resources, for politics, opening a group of spaces that had not been opened before, and the legacy has to continue. The last thing I would want is the people that I'm training would get to that comfort area where they would not keep making that effort and working on those cooperation and networks, which require creating knowledge and basing on the knowledge, building big changes in the region. Anyone in the audience would like to ask a question? If we would have a microphone, please, that would be, if you could help us with a microphone. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. It was wonderful. My name is Jorge Ivan Ramirez. I'm the Vice Director of the University Bolivariana. Very nice to meet you. I think you have seen that we have taken on an initiative that is very strong. We have created the qualified record of engineer, the first one in the country. And I would like to ask Santiago, of course, I already know Santiago and you, of course, what do you think about that initiative? With what we have discussed at the university, I thought that according to what you were said, we are probably right. Maybe this is one of the areas that Colombia can make a difference. It's a whole universe. So what do you think about that strategy, and is it valid for us in this right now to continue on with that proposal? It has shown leadership and braveness, because the basic thing would have been to do a master's title or a PhD, but you were able to start with the smallest one. So being brave, and it's also a risk, because where are the jobs for these students that they were asking me yesterday about these programs? I was wondering, where would these people be working? So it's this type of initiative that your university had, and I hope many others will do. These are the ones that push. Maybe the first couple of students will be the second front, but I think it's a very brave initiative, but I salute it, and I am jealous of it, because in Spain we don't have a graduate degree or undergraduate degree for this program. I think the ministry saw it as a very positive thing, and what we have to do is being able to start with those initiatives. Any other questions? Good morning. My name is Carlos Salazar. I come from we're a group of people who wants to bring endpoint technology to break those bridges in countries such as ours. Right now I have a question about your experience, your journey, and it's everything you've done, Santiago, all that work that has been done, what is done in a master's degree or a doctorate, being able to bring it to a production scale at a commercial level, such as how you do it right now. That's something that everyone would like to achieve in their jobs. It's a big effort. What would be the steps that one should take as a perspective in order to shorten that bridge or that step, trying that everything we put on paper as an idea, as a good idea, we are able to make it a successful business idea? That's the golden question, because it's not just asked in Medellin, but that's the question in all cities in the world, and there's no simple answer. I like the explanation about the Darwin's idea. A lot of competition, a lot of ideas, and favor the fast failure for those ideas that have no possibility of success. They should die quickly, and the other ones should succeed. For that, we need several components. First, there should be a lot of ideas, people who are well-trained, laws should be respected, there should be a good intellectual property, and that should be very well respected, and also investors. The money in Colombia, and there's a lot of money because you have a lot of natural resources, that money should be an intelligent money that realizes that besides winning where there is a low risk, they should also invest in the high risk, something that is not only good for the company but also for the country. I think we're running out of time. Santiago and I would be very happy to answer all the questions that you have, but they're telling me I have to leave now. But I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, we will be very happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Gracias.